So we got a fight between Gary Antoine Russell and Viktor Postol coming up shortly. I believe it's coming in February. I think the 26th. I'm not sure the date, but we have a fight between those guys coming up. So I'm here to just give my prediction on this fight, as accurate as I possibly can. So we got Viktor Postol, man. Uh, he's another one of these Ukrainian dudes, very tall and rangy, and he's never been stopped. None of his he's never been stopped. He's 34 years old, so he's about teetering on the outside of the decline of his prime. You know, usually uh, boxers, they're like right outside of their prime around 33, 34 years old, and they start to slide down. So that's where Viktor Postol is. Uh, he's right there with Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford's right there at the same age. He's not declining as far as his body is. As far as Crawford, his body is not really declining yet because he takes better care of himself than your average and most boxers. But as far as boxing goes, he's on the outside of his prime years. He's going down that slope. So Viktor Postol, by the way, he was an opponent of Terrence Crawford, man, and he lost that one of his fights. Was a loss to Crawford. It was a unanimous decision. And Viktor Postol has been off for about 2 years, man. He's been out going on 2 years. So his last fight was in, I believe, August of 2020, and he lost that fight. He lost to Josh Taylor. I think he only has 3 losses. Let me check real quick. Viktor Postol. Let me see. Yeah, he has 3 losses, and he's never been knocked out. So his 3 losses was Ramirez. He lost to Jose Ramirez. He lost to Josh Taylor, and he lost to Terrence Crawford. So what that tells you is he lost to good and high quality opponents. He hasn't lost to anybody that wasn't really known, or anybody that was mediocre. So that's telling you he's a good fighter. He's not really known for his power like that, Viktor Postol, but he's very accurate. He's good at distance control. He got a good engine, and he let his hands go, man. He's a volume puncher. He's gonna come and bring it to you. Come forward, volume puncher, and he's a good counter puncher as well. So you got, and he's accurate. And you got Gary Antoine Russell now. Man, I'm gonna have to make some separate videos on Gary Antoine Russell. I touched on him in the past. I've been watching him for quite a while, and I'm gonna say this: he's that Russell brother that you don't want no problems with, man. He's one of those, as far as that we can see. See, here's this thing, man. Let me just throw this in there. A lot of times, right, we with these boxers, that's they're up and coming through their division, and they haven't really fought anybody yet. As far as we see, they look good because they haven't really faced anybody yet. That same with Boots. But see, I think Boots and Gary Antoine might be exceptions to those rules, because you gotta understand something. Gary Antoine Russell and Boots, they come from fighting families and stuff. Bozy Ennis, I'm not sure if he used to fight or not, but he can box, he can fight. Jerron Ennis has been fighting since he was young. Oh yeah, actually he does have, Jerron Ennis' brothers, they're fighters too. So Gary Russell, his family is family of fighters, man. So they have that background already, so they already have the pedigree. So it might be a little different for them, because what we see from them now, we might still see it from them when they get to fight elite fighters. And when you see that, they were the real deal. When you start seeing them, when they get to the elite level and they fighting the elites, and they knocking out people still and battering their opponents and beating them down and hurting them and stopping them, then you know they was the real deal all along. But right now, a lot of people, the jury's still out when it comes to Jerron Boots Henderson, Gary Antuanne Russell, a lot of other dudes, even Tank Davis, because what Floyd's been doing. See, it's no excuse for Tank because he's been out fighting for quite some time. He's been pro. Boots, his situation is a little different, with his promotional, Floyd has all the promotional, he's putting all, he's well known, so there's no reason Tank shouldn't be in the situation he's in. Gary Antuanne only got like 15, 14 fights, so it's different. But he has great power, raw, great power, excellent cutting off the ring. I've never seen that many boxers cut the ring off as well as Gary Antuanne Russell. Just watch him cut off the ring, man. It's absolute monster of a kid. Great at distance control as well, just like Viktor Postol. He's a come forward, punishing pressure fighter, but he does it very calculated and he doesn't miss. He's very, very keen on where he lands his punches. He rarely misses his punches. Gary Antuanne Russell makes him very dangerous, very dangerous. Sometimes though he leaves himself open, like his defense. He doesn't really block punches as much. He doesn't really move his head as much. It's the only thing I would say about Gary Antuanne Russell. I think they should work on that. But how does this fight go? Well, when you got a come forward person like Gary Antuanne Russell, that's relentless, he's gonna keep coming, and has power. And then you got Viktor Postol. He's another one. He likes to throw punches, come forward. He's not gonna really back down as much. He's not gonna back up as much. So you got these two guys in the ring. One is not known for power. One has power. Viktor Postol, he has, I would say his defense is a little bit better than Gary Antuanne's defense. He moves his head a little bit more. What you're going to see in that ring, you're going to see destruction. Viktor Postol, his style is not gonna really allow for him to back up as much. You'll see him trying to get out of the way from the punches of Gary Antuanne, but he cuts the ring off too long. The only thing Viktor Postol might have is the range. He has longer arms. Try to keep Gary at distance. It's not gonna work for too long. Gary got some speed, and that power is gonna get to him, man. And I think this might be the first fight that you've seen Viktor Postol get stopped in, because you add that with him being off for almost 2 years, 2 years layoff almost. The way Gary Antuanne cuts the ring off, the power, the combinations. I think Viktor Postol is probably gonna, his nature. He's gonna allow himself to sit there and trade with Gary Antuanne until he can't trade no more, and then you're gonna see him start backpedaling. Something you hardly see from Viktor Postol. Very few fighters ever made him, backpedal like that. I believe Bud made him backpedal a bit too. So when they in their fight, so if a boxer can make you backpedal, man, that means he's elite and he's doing something right. And unfortunately for Viktor Postol, he's not gonna last long in this fight. I give it 5. I say he's gonna get stopped in the 5th round. Check the age. He's been off too long. I'm not sure how he's been taking care of himself. All those come to play, and I believe Gary Antuanne is gonna make a statement in this fight. This is gonna be Viktor Postol's first time he's ever been stopped, and it's gonna be at the hands of Gary Antuanne Russell. So he just doesn't have. He don't have the. I don't think he'll have the stamina as much more to move to evade Gary Russell. Not sure how his engine is still looking. I'm not sure if he can really take his punch. Viktor Postol chin ain't the word. I have never really seen him hurt, like really hurt. So I think that's a good thing. But we'll see how his chin fares against Gary Antuanne's punch. See, that's the thing, and I think he's gonna get stopped, and it'll likely be to the body, a body shot somewhere. 5th round will probably stop Viktor Postol, and then that'll be all she wrote. So my official prediction for this fight is Gary Antuanne Russell by 5th round knockout. This is Rebel Life Boxing. Let me know what you think about this fight. Drop a comment, like, and subscribe. Support the channel. Catch you guys later on the next one. And I'm out.